All right. Welcome, Thirsty Thursday, Booze and Views. Today's booze we are going to view is, look at this. Ooh, we got that 1942. Woo. I'm going to unbox it for you here. Let me get this. Woo, look at that. Look at that. Oh, woo. If you notice, some's already gone because as soon as I get it, I can't just let it sit there unopened. It's unethical. So today I'll be drinking out of my Savage Peacock glass. I figured it'd be fitting for Christmas Eve, considering the guy who borrowed this to me probably don't do Christmas anyway. Just saying. All right, so look, you got that 1942 together. Whoa, perfect pour. Oh, man. It's going to be the best Christmas ever. Oh, that 19. Oh, this is like the best stuff. Like, goes down really smooth. A little bit very mellow in the front, and then it goes down with like that salty agave taste. Woo! Woo! All right. So, booze and views. So, what's going on out there, people? It's Christmas Eve. First and foremost, I always try to stay positive. I'm a pretty positive guy for the most part, like everybody, right? And it's Christmas Eve, so I hope you're having a good Christmas Eve with your families, and I hope you're just having a good day overall. Cooking a couple pork butts today, going to a friend's house. Tomorrow, I got that Wagyu. You heard me, Wagyu. I got that Wagyu prime rib and a ribeye steak, or a ribeye roast, excuse me. Both Wagyu from my man Bert, Texas Elite Meat. What's up, Bert? Check him out. He does that Wagyu stuff. It is delicious, right? So I'll be smoking that. Be slow roasting that, so it's pink all the way to the edge, and it's gonna be juicy. Oh, can't wait. So, kind of what I'm doing the next couple days, making sure we got some good food. But look, there's some stuff going around, right? We probably should talk about. First thing I want to talk about is the fact that where we are right now, we had the COVID and the lockdowns, and then we had the protests, and then we had an election, and since the news is broadcasting the election went one way, no one's protesting, but if it goes the other way for whatever reason, we're going to be back to protesting, right? All this craziness this year in 2020, right? New York City is up 96% on shootings. Like, that's crazy. It's up 96%. Chicago's up 53%. You know why they're not up 90-some%? Because you just can't go that high. You just be killing everybody out there, right? Like, I didn't know Chicago could go higher, but they did, right? Philly, 64%. Portland, 88%. 88%, right? Surge in shootings. Los Angeles, 31%. And Atlanta, 39%. I mean, this is across the board, Crime has gone through the roof because these is what I would call the George Soros elected prosecutors or DAs, whatever you call those guys, not a lawyer, right? And don't say stay in my lane in this because I don't know the terminology for it. I'm not trying to get in your lane if you're a lawyer, by the way. But anyway. It's all these liberal DAs. They get elected to these jobs and then they just push that Democratic Party agenda. Like, it's not about right and wrong or justice. It's about decriminalizing everything or not doing shit. And then look, if you're Antifa or BLM, you're not going to catch any charges. But if you're defending your own store or you're doing anything against those guys, you're going to jail, right? So it's kind of weird, but crime is up, man. Shootings are up more than ever, right? At a time where they're probably going to be coming out and saying if Sleepy Joe wins, he's going to say he's going to take your guns. But crime's up 96%. Shootings alone up 96% in New York. Is this the time not to have a gun? Only I would say yes, but whatever. That's just me. Okay, let me take a drink. All right, next thing is, this is kind of crazy, and this is all kind of intertwined with the COVID and just where we are. Christmas Eve of 2020, there's a couple days left, and don't dismiss anything crazy happening only because it's the 25th, because we got a few more days, and 2020 is a motherfucker. I'm just going to tell you right now. But the pandemic has led to more drug overdoses in a 12-month period than any point in U.S. history. More overdoses, more shooting, more crime than ever. At a time where they're telling you shouldn't have guns, you can't defend your family, you can't do anything against protesters. Looting is just people, feeding themselves. Never mind that they took all the TVs. Don't bother there. But drug overdoses are up. Shootings are up by a lot, ever, right? This is what happened. This is what happens when a government tries to come into your life and take it over. The government thinks they should be raising your children, public schools, right? The government thinks they should be telling you what to do. Look, a vote right now for the Democrats is a vote for China and socialism. And I'm going to tell you this, China takes over this country, they're not going to give a fuck what fucking bathroom you go to. You're going to end up in a fucking camp like all the other people they don't like. And that's what they do. They fucking look into it, right? So, man, murders are up and fucking drug overdoses are up. And then, drinking and driving is probably up. Domestic violence is probably through the roof right now, right? All of this from flattening the curve. Come on, man. There's more to it than that. We all know that, right? So, kind of crazy, man. Let me take a drink to that. And, look, the real elephant in the room right now is that COVID relief bill. So I checked out the COVID relief bill, right? And I got to read some of these. The writing's kind of small. I got old eyes, so relax. You know what I mean? Clark Kent wore glasses. Superman didn't think about it, right? But, okay, $4 billion. You're only going to get $600 in relief, but it's a fucking $1.2 trillion plan, right? But they're only going to give $600 to, regular people, which ends up being just a couple $1 billion, right? It's a $2.3 trillion bill, and 284 billion of $2.3 trillion goes to the American public. It's not even half. It's not even, and there's so much other bullshit in there. So let me read some of the bullshit in there. $4 billion to New York City's Mass Transit Authority. Hey, I know taking subways, buses, I fucking get it, but you guys can't fucking manage your own budget? Why do they need $4 billion, right? Who the fuck are they transporting? You can't go anywhere in New York City, right? Why the fuck do they need the money now? It doesn't make any sense to me. $15 billion earmarked towards grant programs for live entertainment venues such as Broadway. $15 billion to Broadway shows. Who the fuck's going to go see it? They want to cancel Christmas, but you can go to Broadway and we'll fucking send them money? Does this even make sense? Look, this is your politicians, right? And they're lining their pockets because they're going to give the Broadway and those fuckers money, and they're going to get kickbacks because they're the coolest guys ever. But the truth is this the time for that? Small businesses are crushed. People are hurting for money. Crime is through the roof. People are killing themselves with drug overdoses because the world's a fucked up place. But, hey, we need to give $15 billion to Broadway, right? What the fuck, If you're going to give Broadway money, do it in another bill. This is why nothing gets done, because they put all this shit in the fucking... Does the American public get relief and small businesses get relief from COVID? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, well, let's throw $15 billion in there for Broadway. What? You know what I mean? It's fucking disgusting. As I read through this, I was disgusted. Okay, $1.4 billion for construction on a wall to the southern U.S. border. I'm kind of for the wall. I get it. But is now the time for this, right? Let's see. New museums, National Mall will focus on Latinos and women. So we're building, on the mall, we're building new museums for Latinos, women, which were pushed by, I don't know, some Democrats from New York and New Jersey. So We're going to build new monuments that you can't go see because you're still locked the fuck down. Does it even make sense, man? Okay. A rule saying U.S. Post Office can no longer deliver e-cigarettes. I don't know what that's about, but supposedly the mail delivering you e-cigarettes have something to do with COVID relief for your small business. Like, fucking seriously, right? Okay, 500 million earmarked for Israeli defense purchases, but 250 million to Palestinian economic aid. Like, the biggest economic aid this country's probably ever fucking needed, the people of this country ever needed, right, is now. And then these fuckers, our politicians, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, they're fucked up, right? But they're going to add this now. We're going to do this now, right? Like, you know, screw the American people. Let's take the American people money and do what with it? What do they even do? What do they even do, right? 250 million over 5 years to Palestine. $101 million to combat the transitional threat of wildlife poaching and wildlife trafficking. Is now the time? Like, I don't even know what that means, right? Okay, $2.5 million, right, of money I fucking paid goes to internet freedom programs in Pakistan, right? What the fuck? Why do we even care what Pakistan does with their internet, right? And $10 million for gender programs meant to help women get education and start a business in Pakistan. What about American businesses? Like, I get it. You know, Pakistani women probably need freedom. They need money to start businesses, and I'm all for that. But what about the people in our own house? These politicians are constantly saying, fuck the people that live with you, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't even understand how some of this shit could get in there. You know what I mean? And they can't. They're gonna give you $600. Sudan gets 700 million. Like, what? So, out of 2.3 trillion dollars, right? Americans only are going to get 284 billion. We're not even getting half the money of a bill that's supposed to give us money. We're not even going to get half the money. And then we're not even getting the money back. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be cool. It's Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? Like, let's be cool here. But the truth is, like, none of this makes sense. Either you're going to give the public and small businesses money, yes or no, figure it out and move on. Stop adding your pet programs and your bullshit. Do that somewhere else. But the problem is look, I don't care if it's Republicans or Democrats. I don't give a fuck about you, and they don't give a fuck about Christmas. You know, they want to cancel your Christmas. Okay. But I got that 1942, player. Woo. All right, I'm John Shrek McPhee, the Sheriff of Baghdad. This is Booze and Views, right? Remember, my opinion, I'm probably wrong. Hey, not the news you need. It's the news you deserve. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a good holidays and a Happy New Year, right? And I'll see you guys on Monday.